And Rick froze again.
Yeah.
Man, am
Well,
I all right?
Yeah,
Am I
you're
all right?
back. You're
Okay,
back.
thank you for joining Shop Talk Live. My name is Rick Ramirez, also known as Rick's 2 Cents, along with my fellow co-host Steve from Steve Makes Everything,
Hi, guys.
and Roger from Roger Shop.
Howdy, howdy.
All right, well, I'm doing some experiment. As you can see, the lasers is behind me, so I'm seeing if it's just an area that was in my house causing an issue for some reason. Otherwise, I'm just going to run some hardwired, but I did some major troubleshooting, so hopefully through the live, I'm not the one who's buffering out.
Tim thinks you got your internet fixed. We're not convinced yet, Tim, because he died twice while we were just getting ready to come on here. So
we'll see, hopefully. So otherwise, I'm going to run some hard wires, but I was just trying to prove the fact I didn't think that was the issue. Good day from down under. Hello, Chris. Hey, Tim. Guys, let us know if you have any questions. Let us know.
Tim, did you get your embroidery machine spooled up?
Nice.
It looks like a really complicated thing. I don't know. I'll just stick with lasers. They're easy.
I've wanted one for so long, man. I've wanted one for so long.
So many spools.
I outsourced that stuff, but yeah. South Carolina.
Rainy North Georgia.
Wish it would rain here. We got an inch of rain the other day, but it just disappeared in like no time. So.
Jim said hello from Chicago. My grass is finally not yellow anymore. It's green again.
No, so mine's dead. Mine will be dormant now for the whole season, I'm sure.
Yeah.
And I need to mow.
James said hello from Ozark, Alabama.
Sweet.
Hello. Tim said open box on stand and started the YouTube journey.
YouTube how to.
Yeah.
It looks like a fun machine, but terrifying.
Yeah, there's an option that I may try if I keep having options. It's an advanced restrictive firewall mode. It changes some settings on my firewall, restrictions on my firewall, to see if that's one of the issues it's causing. I've never had that problem before, but that doesn't mean it. So we'll see what's going on. Hopefully, not jinxing myself. So far, so good. As you guys can see, because I know everyone's been giving me a hard time about the CNC, I've been dropping little shorts, so you can see that I am actually making some sawdust, but I'll be dropping full-length videos soon. Yeah, so
it works.
Yeah, it works. So I keep forgetting, like it's 9 o'clock at night, and I'm messaging you, so it's 11:30 at night your time, right? But
yeah, I was wondering why you kept. I thought it was 11 in the morning. It's like, well, geez, isn't he at work? And then I thought, no, that's 11 p.m. And then you did it the next day.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm asleep by then, man.
What was I having a problem with? I can't even remember. I figured it out, but I figured you'd probably know. But yeah, but I got the kit installed to route all the wiring. Got the kit installed to wire all. Oh my goodness, the Monport cooler, chiller.
Oh, lost Steve there. And Rick froze up. What's going on here, I wonder?
Can you see me, Roger?
Yeah, I can see you. You froze up there for a little bit. Steve disappeared.
Yeah, Steve, I don't know what happened.
Hello.
Yeah, I don't see you. I just see a black box.
Yeah, I've been having some weird problems with my audio or with my video setup here. Oh, there. It switched cameras on me. Okay. I'm not sure what's going on. It's like I've finally driven my Mac Studio beyond its capacity. And...
Oh, lost him again.
I'll be back in a minute.
Tim said Roger's shirt's flashy as usual.
No, thank you. kind of one of my trademarks is wearing shirts like this.
There you go. Chris said blame Steve's disappearance on Rick's internet.
Yeah.
You know what? That may just prove the fact that it's not our internet, that it's StreamYard. I honestly think it might be something to do
Yeah, Rick, you froze up again there.
I'm gonna try this setting that's supposedly for the firewall thing. I have to drop out and come right back, Roger. So take over the show. Be right back.
Okay.
It says I can't do it while I'm live.
So I guess I get this all to myself. So out there, if you got any questions or anything, fire away. More than happy to try to answer them. We'll get the other guys back here shortly. Now it's Tim says maybe it's a YouTube servers. I don't have the capability of scrolling down and displaying the messages. But
Jeez, you lost Rick now too.
Yeah, now he's working on his
hopefully
changing his firewall.
Hopefully I'm back. I've been having all kinds of weird problems today and yesterday. So yeah, I'm sure Rick injected a virus into the conversation here. I was transferring from, I have an SSD over in my video rack, and I usually transfer to my computer, and it was transferring at about 15 megabytes per second instead of the normal 1 gigabyte per second. It was crazy. It's not YouTube servers, Tim. It's just goofy technology. I used to have a sign on my office door when I had a real job, and all it said was, for a list of all the ways technology's improved your life, press 1 now.
Yeah.
That said it all. My boss hated it. He made me take it down at one point. But does Streamyard give you the option to change? No, I don't think this is a Streamyard problem. I think I don't normally have problems, but I do tonight. Hopefully I'm good now.
No 3D printers running tonight. I try not to run them when we're doing the live stream here, because it does make a background noise, and you can pick it up. It's not as bad as my older printers, which are really loud.
So but, I got a message from Anycubic the other day asking about what's the one you just looked at there, or you installed?
Well, I've got the Cobra S1. I've got the Cobra Max as well.
It wasn't any of those. I'm gonna now have to find it. Here it is. It is the Anycubic Cobra S1 combo. That's the one you have, right?
Yeah, that's the one I've got right over here behind me.
But I don't have any time for things right now. So, but they said they're coming up with something new towards the end of the year, so I'll maybe do that one.
ATV marketing, hello.
Sorry, I'm trying not to die here. Tim says, out of curiosity, are you actually in the garage? No, I have a separate studio, one that doesn't have all kinds of sawdust and crud flying around in the air. I can actually record in my workshop again with a much cheaper camera. Still a Sony, but an FX30, not an FX3.
Well, my shop's an absolute mess after today. Yesterday and today, I'll flip pictures here. That's what I've been doing. 100 candy boards.
Yeah, fall is coming.
Yeah. So I'm going to be on a weight restriction after tomorrow of 5 pounds. So figure I'd get all them things built, because they're going to weigh a couple pounds a piece. Then I could spend my time sanding, which is lots of fun, and painting, which is even more fun.
I assume you spray paint them. You don't paint them with a brush.
No, they're painted with a roller. I can't spray them because you can't have paint on the inside.
Right. Yes. Oh, wait. No, that was Tim's question. Yeah, technology is only as good as the person. Yeah, really pushing the buttons. I think Tim asked me back here a bit before I disappeared if I made these if I was selling these t-shirts. Oh, no, it's now gone. Oh yes, here it is. I don't sell anything like any shirts, but if you want the artwork, I can send it to you, as long as you don't go sell them, unless you pay me like $1 a shirt or something. You can make your own shirt. You got an apparel printer. Rick's back. He's looking grumpy.
I tried. There's 2 different firewall settings I tried. So I tried the one that they suggested. So we'll see if it makes any difference.
Sorry, I'm trying to find out where we were here again. There. Zentenro says it's been hot enough here that I'm only running 1 printer.
Oh, well, mine is in an air-conditioned space here, so it's all climate controlled down here.
Nice.
This is actually in the basement of our house.
Yeah, so that's probably really good for the printers, right? Because you can really control the humidity, right?
Yeah,
It's
we keep
cooler
the
in basement.
humidity. Summertime here, well, you know what it is here in the Midwest outside. I mean, it's just horrible.
Yeah.
In fact, I think it was Monday. Monday morning we had 95% humidity, and it was
Feeling
that
like
way almost
Mexico.
all day. Hell, in Mexico, it don't get that bad.
Where I live, it's 99% humidity for like 8 months a year.
What are you drinking,
But it's
Roger?
49% in my shop, right in my studio.
Because I'm having surgery tomorrow, I can't have any alcohol, so drinking water tonight.
Oh, that's right. Big surgery.
You're finally getting that surgery on your 3rd leg?
Yeah, now I'm getting the Cyclops fictus on my belly. And if I don't get to keep the navel, I'm just going to tell people I'm an alien.
There you go. There you go.
Hey, it's a good conversation starter. You go to parties. Hey, look at my belly. I don't have a belly button.
As that clip goes viral.
I can tell people I was hatched, or I can always say I was hatched or I was ripened. I wasn't born. So.
The Elegoo Centurion. It's loud. Yeah. Lots of. I think finally laser companies and I won't say that, but all laser companies, but some laser companies are actually taking volume, quiet, or more importantly, and 3D printer companies too. 3D printers are a lot quieter than they used to be.
Oh yeah, back before they had the quiet drivers for the stepper motors, they would just sing.
Yeah. Just when we first started our live, Roger, the 3D printers you had before.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. That was crazy.
Hey, Steve. You should. We should get Steve on our call. Vintari is. He and Clax do their. Well, I wouldn't say he's Clack's boy. Maybe Clack's his boy. I don't know. I don't like making those kinds of assumptions, but yeah, you should join us some night.
I don't mean like boy, like your son. Hey boy, I mean boy as in friend.
Hey Clayton.
Aloha from Hawaii.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon, Clayton.
Yeah.
Xtool has a new laser coming out. Do they?
Are you aware of this?
I haven't heard anything yet.
I've heard rumors.
Well, we shall see. Maybe they can all send us one.
Well, I'm still trying to get a metal fab. They're very tight with those. Hey, Randy.
Yeah, I've seen they've been doing little snippet posts here and there on Facebook. But I think
the one I saw that they actually sent a metal fab to a guy. He's actually like a shop welder kind of guy, right? And he clearly has a vested interest in not having everybody with a laser welder overnight, right? So I'm surprised Xtool actually gave him one or sent him one, whatever they did, or he managed to get one anyway.
I saw some chick with one, and they were saying that if you were in her area, you could go and use it and try it before you buy it.
Yeah. Xtool has a network of people where you can go and test stuff. They asked me actually if I wanted to do the P2S and the latest one was the F2 Ultra, but it's just like I'd love to, but it's just there's not enough hours in a day right now.
Momport actually asked me if I'd do that, and I said absolutely not. I just thought it was weird. I think if I had a shop, like an actual physical brick and mortar, but I do everything in my house. And nah, let's have random strangers come to my basement.
Yeah, it's a bit odd to have somebody wandering in. I mean, it's basically a side job, right? Because Xtool will pay you. I'm sure Monport would too.
Right.
They don't pay you a lot, but
Something.
I would do it just to help people make decisions, but it's just a timing thing for me right now.
Right. Gary said, good evening from Waverly, Iowa. Hello, Gary. Thank you for joining us live. Let us know if you have any questions.
Did you see the pictures of Clack sitting inside the Acmer
Oh,
X1?
yeah, I saw that.
I thought it was funny. And he's only got the 4x4.
Yeah.
There's another one that we could put 2 Clacks in.
Yeah, but the other thing is, like we were saying, though, is about the external venting. Like, I don't see like a port on that because that top closes.
Well, it's open, right? So, this is where I think the
You'd have to like build an enclosure.
Yeah. I mean, or like if you're running it in a big shop, you could have an overhead system, but like it's not really for a hobby person, right? It's not like, I'm going to go and make, coasters on a 4x8 foot laser. But
I would just say this, that since I installed my external vent, there's been times my wife's come home and be like, what are you doing? And I'm like, why? There's like black smoke pouring out of the house. I'm like, oh, wow, for real? And you don't smell a thing in my house. So to me, it's like, it's working, right?
Yeah.
So if I went back to something like that, where it just flat out was pouring into my house, man, it wouldn't stay in my house very long. And I'm like, it would be very short-lived. Yeah.
I'm not allowed to have lasers in my house, so
yeah,
at least not plugged in.
I was told that my house was smelling like a hamster cage, and I was called all the kinds of things. She was not happy with it. Yep. They're saying that we should have Steve on the live. He'd be a great guest.
Yeah,
so
I think he would.
Tim said new CO2 isn't it, Steve?
Might be.
Yeah.
I was
just looking at this. I was just looking at the CO2 last night, actually, that they went live. And you could tell it was from China because they actually had one of the representatives on there. Yeah. And it looked like an open frame diode laser with a box over the CO2, and it moved. And I was like, wow, that's pretty crazy.
That's like the Tyvok lasers like that, right?
Yeah, I was like,
and I don't know if like they license these things across companies all the time, right? So, if Xtool wanted something like that, they wouldn't build it. They just go license it.
Right. Makes sense. ABT Marketing said, yes, Rick, we all know what you meant. Uh-huh.
Yeah. So, if your wife is complaining about the black smoke coming out of your vent, then you should tell her that you'll just disconnect the vent. She'll stop complaining about it in after the first project.
Chris said Xtool's new tool is coming out. It must be Wednesday. Happy hump day, everybody. Happy hump day. Man, I've had a stressful week. I needed this. So thank you, everyone. Jim said, found out today that I missed a 500 pen order because I did not see an email 60 days ago. They did not follow up or phone call, just moved on. That sucks.
Yeah, you got to check your spam filter every now and again.
I've had that with, I initially didn't know that Facebook Messenger actually has its spam. And I've lost sales that way. I originally didn't know that. But now I once in a while just go in there and check. Tim said, damn, Steve, do the Xtool stuff so I can buy them afterwards. Actually, yesterday, I posted our live on a bunch of different Facebook laser groups. And somebody wrote in the comments, Steve's a good dude, but he made me buy a laser. I was going to tag you in the post. That was kind of funny. Hey, Mark. Hello, hello. All right.
Hopefully it was a good laser, because I don't want to recommend bad lasers.
I think it was the Acmer.
Yeah, so Clack says, yeah, I think there's like a slide, Clack can correct me, I think there's like a sliding roof on the thing that you can use to enclose it. But
So the Acmer
that's
is
going to be
enclosed except
awkward,
for the
right?
bottom. It has
Yeah, it's
a
an
accordion screen on top.
Yeah.
2 and 4-inch fans that are out. Yeah, but
Yeah.
you still gotta. I guess if you slid it open, it'd be the same thing with enclosure when you open the lid, right? You'd want to make sure that it's extracted all the fumes before you open it. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. Everybody, including Clack, that I've seen talk about these things, ask the same question: where do you put it when you're not using it, right?
Yeah. We were saying you have to put it on one of those hydraulic lifts, and it goes, it lifts
You
it up
just
in
need
the air.
to mount a piano hinge on one end and just tilt it up on the wall. And
There you go. Kristen, tell her you are voting for a new pope. That's the black smoke.
yeah, you gotta.
Well, our new pope is from Chicago, so we're hoping he was lowering the price on pizza puffs and things like that. Zetendo said these big dialed engravers don't make much sense to me. I think they've gone too far.
Well, I don't know. Again, Clack can chime in because he's actually got one, but I think there's an application for them. But it's not everybody's going to want one of these things, right? Yeah. This is like an almost industrial laser. Prosumer, right? It's like professional, but
I think once they're getting to the 70 and 100 plus,
well, this thing's 100%. Watts, right?
They are 100% not marketing to a hobbyist. This is definitely something marketing to a business.
Yeah, this isn't even side hustle, right? This is like business. Like you're in the business,
right?
Yeah.
Jim said not spam, just missed.
Yeah, I've had this experience too, Jim.
Phil said the new Snapmaker U1 raised almost 9 million already.
Yeah, that's an interesting 3D printer.
It's crazy that all these manufacturers are now doing that. This is like going to become the new GoFundMe type thing. You know what I mean? There's no shame in it anymore. It's not like you're a starter company.
Yeah, it's interesting that you don't really need to pay an R&D department anymore, right? You build one, you go to Kickstarter and you kick off a project, and then you go hire a bunch of contractors to design the thing for you.
It's pretty crazy. Look who it is, Nancy. Happy hump day, Nancy. Long time no see. Glad you're able to join the live. I did see her pop in a couple comments, so
she must be getting ready to go to work.
Clack said, I've been challenged to find a cutting surface for it. 1/8-inch aluminum sheet isn't cheap. It's very user-specific machine.
Yeah, definitely. Speaking of metal not being cheap, I had to buy a bunch of brass plate for a project I got to work on, and it's like I got 5 square feet of brass plate, and it was like $200. It was insane,
man. While people keep buying them, they'll keep producing them, right? What do they say? Make them and someone buy them.
Yeah, if you build it, they will come.
Yeah, there you go. If you build it, they come. That's what us.
Hey, Clack.
Tim said, hey, Clack, one of your videos really got him a jam today. Thanks.
Sweet. It's probably because I didn't answer his message. I think Tim sent me a message on Facebook.
Chris is saying a play in my words, I guess, here when I said a GoFundMe. So he said Kickstart / GoFundMe is a new marketing tool. Absolutely. Yeah. Like I said, when Xtool did it, Xtool to me is coming like Xerox. And what I mean by that, it's becoming a household name.
Yeah, they're a big company, right? They got 39% of the laser market.
Right. When you tell someone it's like a Glowforge or Xtool, like people who don't do anything with lasers, they know those names because of marketing, right? And it's funny that they'll ask, "Oh, do you have an Xtool?" I'm like, "No, I don't own an Xtool." oh, you don't? And just because someone who's not into lasers, you tell them you don't have an X tool, they think like, well, then you don't have like a real laser. It's kind of funny.
Yeah, well, you should own an X tool. I'll send you an affiliate link.
I don't know that there's anything that I have that would be directly like competitive with an X tool that would, because to me, like we always say all the time that X tool, there's certain brands like Omtech and these brands, the reason they're at a certain price hold is because of the support level.
Yeah.
And I don't necessarily know that if I was to buy something out of pocket that I would do so.
Yeah, well, X-Tool's kind of a unique company, right? Like people, it's the same experience that you would have with Apple, right? Like, oh, their stuff is really expensive, but then everybody buys it, right? Because they're selling an experience. They're not just selling, here's a laser, pull it out of the box and you're on your own, right? They kind of link it up with their software, and they got their Atom project environment out there too. So that's kind of what you're paying for with them, right? Is that experience rather than just hardware.
Right. And then I do
get people don't need that.
Right. And I do get the proprietary software, and that they have some options that you couldn't do with Lightburn. So even if you had the same type of laser, they have unique features. So I get it, but so like a lot of times we get these lasers, and like a new laser comes in, a new laser goes out, meaning like there's a replacement. Like the Ateza B35 was my workhorse. The longer B1 came in and it bumped it, right? The Iker K1 Pro got bumped by the Atom Stat Craft. So there's certain things. So I would think like, what is something the X tool could come in that would bump something out? And I don't necessarily know anything currently that would get bumped because of that.
Yeah, well, yeah, they have pretty much everything. I'm shocked they don't have a good UV laser yet.
Yeah.
No doubt one's coming. But
ABT Marketing said, Roger, do you have a YouTube channel? I can't seem to find it.
Yes, it's called Roger Shop, and it scrolls across the bottom of the screen there. You can find it.
Yeah. When you asked that question, I realized the ticker was none, so I added it. So you'll see all our YouTube channels all along the bottom.
He cut me deep.
Okay,
you're probably going to get a good answer from Clack anyway. So
sorry, Steve, didn't message, just straight.
I thought I saw a message, and I didn't answer. I was busy on the weekend with family stuff, and I thought you sent me something over the weekend. Then you said you were just going to go ask Clack. Maybe it was somebody else. Maybe I've had two people straight because I didn't answer.
Oh man. Chris said a lot of these days seems like user support has replaced company support.
Yes,
100%. Well, I would say that even if they do have a good support, when you're purchasing any type of laser or any type of like thing, even 3D printer or anything like that, if they have a strong Facebook community, I think hands down that's going to be any tech support.
Yeah.
You post a question and like, boo, But the only thing I don't like is like, I had an issue with the Onefinity CNC, and this is what I was messaging for, Steve. I relocated that button that's set to auto and manual, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I got the kit where it mounted on the side of the mass controller, and it had like a male and a female connector, but it was like loosey-goosey. They weren't at all. So I guess I could crimp it down, but I'm like, the other side actually, it had the type, Steve, when you put that spade in there, that actually has a click, like it has a
there's a
like
lock,
a little, like you push it in, it kind of clicks, and you can pull it apart, but take it. But the opposite side didn't have that. So I ended up just cutting it off.
You could have just put it together and put some heat shrink on it.
Well, I didn't heat shrink it yet because I was like,
no, you could have put heat shrink over the connector. It's not going to come apart if it's
I I just thought if there's going to be vibration and just whatever, but
It's not that much vibration out of a CNC.
well, I don't know. That was my logic of thinking, right? I don't want it to, especially because I'm pushing it inside of the that housing, so I can't necessarily see the connections.
Yeah.
If something came loose, and I don't want to be going crazy trying to figure it out what it was wrong. So I wanted to make sure I had a good connection, but I didn't heat shrink it right away because I wasn't sure. Basically, if I hooked it backwards, then the button would be backwards, right? So then I would just swap them. No big deal.
Yeah.
But I messaged them and they never responded at all. So I was like, okay. And then they responded and told me that they're sorry. They think they misunderstood my question. Nancy said, a bigger CO2 or a UV printer? I would say
from X-Tool. Well, yeah. I mean, I would say a bigger CO2 laser is probably more possible than a UV printer from X-Tool.
Right.
But you never know.
I would say if you're saying a big CO2 laser, that probably means that you already have a customer base that you're outgrowing your current CO2 laser. So you may see a faster return on your investment if you're able to make new projects, and that's why you're leaning that way. Versus a UV laser, you're starting something new, and that doesn't mean you couldn't make it. But if you're going bigger, to me, that means you already have that demand to make more justification for the spend.
Yeah.
Corb said, good evening, everyone. Hello,
Hey,
hello.
Corby. How you feeling, Corby?
Ep80 said, I got you, Roger.
Okay, good deal.
He subscribed. I don't want to say anything, but hey, looks like my issue may be fixed. I think it might have been that network setting.
I think mine is fixed too.
I went in there and I changed the network settings for our live.
Oh. Well, mine was probably self-induced. I was rebuilding my entire computer studio setup here today.
So Tento said, I was just trying as hard as I could not to buy any more machines right now. Welcome to the addiction.
Yeah.
I just say that Steve is an expensive friend to have getting into the CNC.
But it's worth it.
Yeah.
You can make good money with a CNC. I mean, you can make good money with a laser too. It's just that you got to work a lot harder than a CNC because there's not as many of them out there, right? So.
Right. Well, my biggest thing is this. So I went on Facebook Marketplace. I put in 100 miles, type laser engraved, and see how many people are selling things that are doing laser engraved type things. 50. Go back to the same exact search and do a search and type CNC in 3.
Yeah. Now you can, like I said, you can still make good money with a laser. It's just you have to be more artistic or more unique, we'll say. Like this is, again, I'll go back to coasters, right? It's why I don't do coasters, because anyone can do them. They're cheap to make. So, you go to any craft fair, craft market, and you'll see hundreds of people selling them. So it's not worth making coasters. You got to do something better. You got to raise your game a bit.
Well, I would say something we actually talked about a couple weeks back. We says we always tell everyone, find your niche. But a couple weeks back, we went beyond that, find your niche. We said, find your niche, but use your background as an advantage. Meaning that if you're a software engineer, make software engineer things to people that you know in your niche that you would be geeky into. If you're a lineman and you made stuff geeky into lineman, you have a unique crowd just beyond that niche. So for instance, if Roger posted something on an IBW Facebook group, and no matter was a coaster, a t-shirt, no matter what it was, and Steve posted it, someone clicks on his account and they're going to go back to his page and they see that he's an IBW member, they're going to buy it from Roger over Steve, even if they're the same exact quality product. They're going to support their own. So there's something to say about that.
Yeah, it's know your market, right?
Yeah.
I mean, if you're doing stuff for linemen, well, you already know those people, right? You've already got a kind of a built-in market.
Yeah, there was this guy who's making these Aztec calendars out of MDF on the CNC, and they're nothing. He's just painting it completely black or completely white, and then he's CNCing. And I said to my wife, "Oh, I'm going to sell those." And she said, "Why would you sell that if he's selling that?" I said, "Because I'm Mexican." I'm just being honest, right? You know, we made the same exact product. There's someone who's not Mexican. I'm Mexican. Chances are you're Mexican. You can buy it from the Mexican.
Just tell people you have Aztec blood.
Unless you're Roger, because he's part-time Mexican, you know, maybe he can get
Yeah,
it
just
part-time. Ben said, "Hello from the Netherlands. Is there a big difference in quality between the new 3D printers and lasers? Or are they largely the same?"
You mean between the new 3D printers? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I don't know. Roger can comment on that. But
the Core XY, I mean, it is leaps and bounds against above the bed slingers of old, and they're quieter.
yeah,
And
well,
they're
that's more of a technology shift, right? Not a quality thing necessarily. I don't know. I think they probably use a bit better parts, because back in the good old days of 3D printers, everything was off the shelf, right? And if it didn't quite fit, well, you changed your laser design as opposed to changing the part. But now you've got people like Bamboo and, well, even Creality. I know Roger loves them.
Huh.
They make their own parts for stuff, right? So the thing can be perfect. It doesn't have to have off-the-shelf parts. Now, the downside is off-the-shelf parts were cheap to replace.
The one thing I do like, though, is that when manufacturers share their catalog, like, you don't have to call in, sit on hold for 3 days, you know, email someone, wait 2 weeks. Like, you can literally go on their website, and every part, you know, that is a wearable item, like, here you go, you can buy it. That to me is awesome.
Yeah, Bamboo Labs is real good at that. And they're not overpriced. I mean, they're reasonable for spare parts. You can go on there, you can find pretty much anything you need for your Bamboo printer.
Yeah, to me that's cool. You know, and like, understand that certain parts are, you know, they're consumables, right? At some point it's going to be replaced.
Yeah.
But from an outsider looking in who doesn't have a 3D printer, and I would say the biggest thing I noticed is the quietness. So the quality of your life, right? Because I don't think that 3D printers have gotten much faster. I think they just got more efficient, if that makes any sense.
Well,
right?
they've gotten a lot faster too.
Right, but I'm saying more efficient, like efficiently at doing their jobs. That, you know.
Yeah, well, the Core XY architecture is quieter by definition, right? It's by design, and then couple that with quieter stepper motors, and they've just improved.
Right, but I say efficient because I still think they're slow. That's why no one has one printer banging out all their work. They have print farms.
This is the downside of 3D printers, right? It's not like Star Trek Replicator, right, where you can just punch in what you want and about 2 minutes later you get it, right? That would be great, but
yeah,
like even the fastest 3D printers, I mean, they're 600, like home 3D printers, they're 600 millimeters a second, but they don't really run that fast, right? Because there's acceleration and deceleration at every corner and every time they change direction. So it takes hours to make anything, but you don't have to watch it usually. So you just need to be like Roger and have 20 printers. So there's always one free.
Yeah. ATB Marketing said, "I'm trying to buy my first laser engraver. Just so many to choose from. But I know what I want to do with it. Still so much, LOL."
Yep. There's lots of video help, but I'm sure you've watched it. I've got a few. I know Clack's got some. I'm sure Ventari's channel's got some. They're all out there.
I would say the biggest difference is that, find out what you want to start to make and then lean that direction for that type of laser, right?
Yeah.
And know that that's not going to be your last laser. It's going to be your first laser. Because a dial laser is not better than a CO2 laser. A CO2 laser is not better than a fiber laser. They're better at doing different things.
Yeah. Now, I know people will shoot me for saying it, but if you have a CO2 laser, a fiber laser, and a UV laser, you can do anything. that a laser can do. And notice
You can
the
do
reason
what
I
in a
think
laser can do, Steve?
if you have a CO2 laser, a diode or a CO2 laser, a fiber laser, and a UV laser. Now, note the absence of a diode laser because it overlaps with all of those things, right? So,
Centenso said there's a quality difference between brands. 100%. I would say if you're in the 20 watt range, they're probably all about the same. Now, when you're in a 5 and 10 watt, you get a lot of no-namers. On the 20, 35 range, those are the big players.
yeah. I mean, it's like, I'll say almost anything else. You get what you pay for, right? And, if you buy that $50, 5-watt diode laser off Amazon, it's going to be crap, basically. So, don't buy that. But when you go, oh, this one's $50 and this one's $1,000, it's a hard pill to swallow for sure.
Well,
right.
But the other thing is
it does depend on your budget for sure, and it does depend on what you want to do.
Right. The other thing is you still see these people on Facebook. They bought a $300 something or other, and they'll still go on rant and rave. Like, what did you expect? Like, you have to have realistic expectations. Like, I'm not hating on anyone. Like, get in where you fit in, right? Start where you can. Be reasonable with your budget. And if that's where you have to start, it's better than not starting at all, right? But don't think you're gonna go start cutting 2x4s with a 5-watt laser. You know what I mean? But I made plenty of signs with 5-watt lasers. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like this is my gripe with diode laser companies, right? Because they'll show and Clack did this, and he did a short there the other day where he's showing how this thick piece of wood that this 120-watt diode laser cut. It's like, yeah, but you got a table saw. Right? Just use that. It's that kind of thing. But at the end of the day, you start where your budget lets you start, right? Like I said, if you have a diode laser, or a CO2 laser, a fiber laser, and a UV laser, you can do anything. Yep. But that's like at a $15K outlay, right? So,
right.
So
when you get to that point, what Steve's saying is that you're kind of overlapping things sometimes. Even what you're saying with the CNC and the a laser. You could be CNCing something and then take like this little guy behind me, and just throwing it on the piece and putting your logo in it, because you'd rather have your CNC do it in something else than just putting a small logo the size of a quarter or something on it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Or you could use your MOPA laser to color engrave your logo on a thing the size of a quarter and just press it in, right? Or glue it in.
Right. Yeah. So once you start overlapping, to me, that's when you start making well-finished products. That's kind of set you apart.
Yeah, and I mean the message there is one tool of any sort is not gonna turn you into a magician of any sort, right? Like, and the same applied to woodworking too, right? If you have a table saw, great, but what if you want to make a round hole? You can't do that with a table saw, so now you got to buy a drill press, right? And lasers, well, more broadly, shop technology is the same, right? Like, there's a lot of things that I could do with a laser, but a CNC is much better at, and vice versa, right? So,
what's your shirt say, Steve? Laser injury survivor. Your finger?
The hand. Chop the hand off.
Oh, it's a whole hand?
Yeah.
That was the what was that? The Apple wristbands? That's when you hurt yourself?
Well, yeah. It's healed now though. Look, the scar is gone. It's completely gone away.
That's what it was, though, right?
Because it was pretty seriously blistered.
Yeah. Crazy.
I was shocked at how quick it happened, and it wasn't focused. It was just basically the big spot coming out of the CO2 tube.
Tony said, I wish a laser that a quadrophiliac could use.
That'd be interesting.
So excuse my ignorance, but what is a quadrophiliac?
It's a person with no arms and no legs.
Well,
No
no
arms, no legs.
functional arm, no
Yeah.
So
no arm or leg
I think you're
function.
gonna have to wait for Tesla's brain implants to start working, and you'll be thinking to do something.
Yeah,
So-
I mean, it's an interesting thing, right? I think, definitely it's something that some laser companies should pick up on, right? That accessibility is not popular with laser companies. So, and it's too bad because, if you're in a state where you don't have full function, there are tools that are out of bounds to you, right? Like a table saw, for example. But lasers are certainly something that somebody could use. Although you'd have to figure out how to get the material on there. But
Kim says, Kim the turnkey. 3D printer, surely the speed will always be governed by the speed you can melt and cool the filament.
Yeah, that's true.
what did you read from that name? Sim the Turnery?
Yeah. From France. You can greet her in French, Steve.
I assume I can't speak French, but well, I can get my face slapped in French. That's about all.
Better than Roger and I, I'm sure.
I assume
I don't know any French at all. So Spanish is
Let's
word
remember-
number.
Sing Fair Jacques, that's about all I got.
I assume a turnery is like a wood turner, right? Yeah, 3D printers. The speed will always be governed by. Well, there's a the speed you can melt and cool the filament. There's that, but there's also just the thing is heavy, right? You're moving a heavy extruder around, and they've made them a lot lighter, and I think that's one of the reasons they've gotten faster. But at some point, you're still moving some mass.
Yesterday
what
was the
slows
first
things down.
time I've seen marketed anywhere online these 3D printers for houses.
Yeah,
Yeah,
And,
they 3D printed a house not too far from here last year.
Yeah, so I remember seeing that all over Facebook, Roger, because it was in Illinois. But yesterday was the first time I actually saw a company marketing the machines on Facebook ads, and I was like, wow, like I wonder when that's really going to become the thing. That's kind of crazy.
well, for a while there, they had the first generation of 3D house printers where they could only make round houses, right?
Right.
But now they've basically put a gantry system in. It looks just like the same structure that a diode laser has, and they can make anything. So they can make things with actual square rooms, so you don't have to walk around in circles in your house.
An igloo house.
Right,
Right,
because at the end of the
Canada,
day, a
live in
house is a
igloos, right?
house, right? And a lot of people don't have them. So if you got one of these machines and a bit of concrete, hey, go to it, right?
Yeah.
Because they should be a lot cheaper than a regular house.
Well, what I would say is this, and I'm not speaking down or negative to anyone, but in these third world countries, when they're still living in huts, so to speak, something like that is going to be insane.
Yeah.
You know?
Yes,
So
turning.
yes, wood turning correct. Okay.
I can't turn wood.
So I have to
just-
ask, where are you actually watching this from France, or are you from France, or what's the reference? If you don't mind me asking. Chris said, with the way AI is moving, lasers and 3D printers will be available for disability to use. Just CNC will be restricted to a degree with the bit changes unless you can afford an ACT system. So yeah, things are drastically changing. So speaking of, Steve, when I bought the kit for the Onefinity that holds all the cables and whatnot, I bought the one that would hold the cables for the ACT, so that if I did get that system later on, I wouldn't have to redo all my lines.
Yeah, I'm not. Well, yeah, if you put an air system in, a vacuum system in, then you'd need extra room in that cable. But look at like the rapid change, right? That's the one that Onefinity actually does, like second sources.
Mhm.
And
Do you use
all
that?
you need for that is a bunch of collet nuts and collets, and put a tool bit in each one of them.
So do you use that? Like, regularly?
Yeah.
So I remember you had mentioned it almost is kind of like nerve-wracking because you think it's stripping it out, like the sound of it.
Well, you get used to it.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a
So
little unnerving the first time it happens.
the reason I'm bringing it up is because as you continue to use it, it's never messed anything up.
No. No, it's actually not the spindle making the noise. The spindle continues to turn. It's actually got like this ratchet system built into it, and
Okay.
it's that thing that's clicking.
Oh, so it's almost like what are those called? Those socket sets that have like the no, you're tightening it to a certain tightness kind of deal.
Like a torque. Yeah, kind of
Yeah,
like
torque
that.
wrench. Exactly, like a torque wrench. Exactly.
Yeah, and the spindle's actually turning really slow when it goes in there. It's like a couple hundred RPM.
Okay.
And I mean, it works okay. I only have a 6-tool changer. I should have got an 8.
So watching from France, it's 2:30 a.m. Well, thank you for joining us.
Yeah.
Yeah. So my wife's French Canadian, and Steve lives in Canada, so you got some kind of support there.
And I don't know French.
My wife knows French. Yeah.
I grew up 3 miles from Quebec, but never really learned French. I took French in school, but not.
My
I was
daughter,
never
when
very
she
good.
was like 3 years old, she's walking down the stairs. I made her rule. She wasn't allowed to walk down the stairs unless she counted. And she's walking down the stairs going, blah, 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 this and that. And I'm like, why are you goofing around? I told you when you walk down the stairs, you're supposed to count. So you practice. I didn't realize she was counting in French. I was like, oh, okay. I thought she was just being goofy. But David said if you build houses with a 3D printer, I assume it won't be a bed slinger. No, they look like
That's for
a
making the
robotic.
mobile homes.
Yeah, it was like because they're still pouring concrete, right? Or some kind of like
Yeah, it's concrete.
yeah. So
Yeah, but they squirt. I mean, it's got a nozzle that's about 2 inches in diameter, right? So it just squirts it out. It's like an endless tube of toothpaste.
right, but what I would say is this that it's going to take more than just a machine operator to run that because there's a skill set involved in making concrete. Those guys know what they're doing. You know,
It's the consistency for sure has to be exact, right? And I mean, you're not going to have big pieces of gravel in it. It's going to be probably just concrete with sand, not stones.
So professionally, what part of my work is I install very large structures, and we do geotech studies and these core samples on concrete, and we have to wait for it to harden and be able to see how hard it is and when it's ready before we actually put anything on it. So those guys who do that, who pour that concrete, especially something would be a house or something very heavy, there's a skill set in that. They're just not pouring a slab that you're putting in behind your house. Like they definitely have a unique skill set. Sorry, yes, watching in France. Very cool. Thank you.
Hopefully it's
one
not
more
too
question,
hot.
if you don't mind me asking. How'd you find us? Chris said I have collets preloaded with bits.
Collets. That's
Preloaded
the little silver bit inside the nut that holds the bit.
Right.
Like
the other thing is that I kept thinking, and I don't know why until I actually had a CNC, is that I kept seeing everyone use these little bits, and I'm like, why are they using those little 1/8-inch bits? Like you think like, rah, you want a bigger bit. It's like, no, not necessarily, because you can't make fine detail, right?
Quite
So
true.
It's about detail.
Right. So
I've used 16th-inch bits.
Oh, really?
For really, really fine detail, but you gotta go like the spindle on your CNC. It's a pretty ham-fisted way to use a 16th-inch bit, right? So you gotta go really slow.
Yeah, but I guess I just didn't grasp that until you finally like have it in front of you. Oh,
You're breaking up.
I had these. Am I?
Yep.
Am I okay?
Yeah.
All right. I was gonna say I'm doing good. I have a DeWalt. Why can't I think what it's called now? I'll come back to it. But I got a new tool on the way, and I'm super excited. Thank you, Los.
Chris says,
Steve, you want to take this?
Says if you've got an 8, you would be wanting a 10-bit changer. Oh yes, this is in reference to my 8-bit tool changer. I don't actually use 10 bits on any kind of regular basis, but there's times when I do use a couple of different tapers and a couple of different end mills, and then a set of 3 different geez, I'm having brain farts now. That bit. So, you know, it ends up to be more than 6. And
so, Steve, typical something that you're creating on a CNC, how many bits do you think you use?
Most projects, 3 or 4.
Okay. DeWalt planer came to mind.
Oh.
Yeah, I
like
bought
a power hand planer, or
well, I have a DeWalt power hand planer, the 20 volt flex.
It's the stand-up one to replace the one that you used twice and died.
Yeah, the rigid that I should have never wasted my money on. I saw at Home Depot, it's still $5.99, so I think I'm going to take it back to the rigid facilities to get it repaired and just put it on Facebook Marketplace. Once it's fixed,
rigid has a good warranty, so.
Right, but I have to drive an hour away to go get it fixed. You can't mail it into them. I have to bring it to them.
Well, it would cost a fortune to ship it. You might as well just buy a new one.
Right. So I'm going to drive there, get it fixed, and then when I get it back, I'm just going to put it on Facebook Marketplace. So.
Yeah. Anyway, I think Rapid Change does have a 10-bit changer now, but I don't own that many bits.
Can you imagine getting a block nozzle or a bird's nest on a concrete 3D printer?
Yeah,
well, I don't know that you'd ever get a bird's nest, but I can see where a block nozzle would be a giant pain in the ass.
Yeah, it's an interesting problem, right? Because it's the kind of thing, once you start, you can't stop.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's gonna be the thing. Well, when it starts raining, like, did you pour that foundation? We told you the weather was coming bad. Whoops. David says, do they have the set to infill when printing the house? Yeah, that's basically what they do. They basically build a mold and then they fill it with concrete, but that machine is still doing it. It's going around and around in a circle.
Yeah, I don't think there's a mold in there, but they do put things. They basically make like both sides of a concrete block, right? So they print twice, and then every once in a while they'll put some kind of a cross bracing inside the 2 concrete pieces, and then they fill it all with insulation spray and foam or something.
Yeah, I saw 2 different ways. I saw one way where they're still using 3/4 inch plywood, just like you would a normal house, but instead of framing, it's just like this weird framing. So I guess it's kind of like putting rebar in concrete to enforce it, and then they're still going back with that machine and pulling it into the walls. You know, so yeah, that's what I saw advertised on Facebook yesterday. I was like, oh wow, it's pretty crazy. So it's like a pre-assembled house, and then the machine is going back and filling the walls. Chris said using small bits is like using a 5-watt versus a 20-watt.
Yeah, well, yeah, but a 5-watt laser has great detail, right? So sometimes it's useful.
Yeah, low power, slow speed.
Yeah, I mean, I'm more of the 100% crowd, so a 5-watt laser doesn't get much use in my shop, but.
Steve is balls
there you go.
Wall, right?
I knew it was a V. See, it just like, man, my brain's getting full of holes. Well, yeah. So I typically use ball nose bits for this sort of thing, but every once in a while, if you're engraving letters or something, you need some V bits. So at the end of the day, it adds up to more than 6, and if you have more than 6, a tool changer is a bit of a roadblock, because where do you put that extra bit, right? So
let me ask you a question, Steve. When you're done with the project and you want to round over on the edge, do you run it through a CNC or you just push it through your router table?
Depends. Router table's easier, faster, right?
I saw someone using it on the CNC, and I was like, I just thought it would be easier on the router table because you're just literally just pushing it through, right? It would just.
Yeah, I mean, if you want some special thing on the edge, you can use your CNC, but I mean, it takes 3 seconds on a router table, right? So
yeah. Gordon said, check out Icon Builders in Austin, Texas. They were the first to develop 3D printing houses. Yeah, check it out. Yeah, I think it's still kind of, to me, 1-story house, okay, but 2-story house, not sure I would trust that.
it's concrete.
I know. I'm just still skeptical. Yeah.
Yeah, good evening.
The Tinkerverse. Huh? Look at this. Good evening, Jets. So are you affiliated with actual Tinkerverse? Or you just
No,
hence on the name?
that's Thingiverse. We had
Thingiverse.
him on our channel ages
Okay.
ago as a guest.
Okay. Rick's talking about ICFs.
Your house structure.
Yeah. Very well insulated. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, because you've got like 8 inches between those two inside and outside wall, and you can just fill it with foam.
Yeah. Yeah, and they were saying the big difference between having that like hollow is that before you fill it, that's when you run all your conduit, you run all your piping, then you. Right.
Yeah, they do all that stuff.
But a pipe goes bad or something like that. Now you're gonna have it pop from the outside in, buddy, because that's it. That's the only way you got it.
Yeah, you wouldn't want your house to freeze. But water stuff you can run in the floor. You don't have to run it in the wall. If it's concrete, or if it's got a basement, you can run it in the basement.
Phil said very well insulated. Chris said 5 years down the track, adding a PowerPoint might be a bit harder in a 3D printed house. Yeah.
Well, it definitely surface mount.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're popping from the inside out, wrapping it.
Run it in the attic. Then you only have an up and a down. You don't have a 4-inch pipe running through your kitchen on the wall.
Insulated concrete forms. There you go. Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess I didn't leave much of an impression. No, my bad, brother. I'm just really bad with names. And if we talked all the time, then I'd definitely remember. But yeah.
I remember. I can remember that, but I can't remember V-bit tonight.
Chris said the 3D printed house I saw was patented in 1908 by Benjamin Franklin. Wow, that's pretty crazy.
That would almost have to be 1808, though, with the Benjamin Franklin.
Maybe.
Yes, I would.
Or maybe it was just Google, right? If you read it online, it's always true.
or some AI engine provided this answer.
Yeah.
Yeah, all these AI pictures now are just ridiculous. Like UFO or did you guys see this thing now with they think that a UFO is headed towards us and it's like this big conspiracy thing. Some people say it's a rock. November 9th is supposed to be here. So I guess November 9th is my birthday. So I guess we'll find out on my birthday if we're being invaded by aliens or not.
So I'm a sellout, so pick him.
I was just gonna go on The Simpsons and search Black Rock, see if they have any. Now, if it's in the video, he might be an alien because The Simpsons.
Well, they did have the 2 alien guys slobbering in their jars.
Simpsons tend to know everything. They might be aliens. Barry said, hello from North Carolina. Roger, I learned so much from your vids. Started with your videos about 3 months ago. I love and enjoy you so much. Thank you so much.
Yep, thanks a lot. Glad that could help.
North Carolina, I guess, is breathing a sigh of relief that Hurricane Aaron didn't come ashore. It's not going to hit my house either, which is good.
Barry, I used to live in Fayetteville, North Carolina. South Carolina. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you probably lived through a few hurricanes then.
Gordon says, have any of you gotten a handle on one laser? No, I don't have a one laser.
Have any of you got a hand on one laser?
I'm assuming he means the brand one laser.
Yeah.
I don't have one.
Yeah, this is the caution of things like Kickstarter too, right? Like you'll see things come along and then you drop money on it and it never shows up. This laser looked like it was going to be good, but you never see them. Like I mean, you can probably find, I think Make or Break did a review on it, but I think that was it.
Yeah.
Like it was pretty low volume.
Yeah.
And it looked like it was going to be a good laser. So.
Chris said, yep, 1808.
There you go.
Roger only knows that because he went to school with them.
Yeah.
Still got the 1808 yearbook.
He's really alien. That's why he's been alive so long.
Yeah, I'm concerned about what comes behind Aaron too. We don't normally get hurricanes where I live until September, so and they're not.
Barry says, I am in Fayetteville. Oh, very cool. Yep. Hello. Very cool. So if anyone's any questions, let us know. So since the CNC is up and running, I said a few weeks back that I would allow our audience to challenge me on something. And I didn't post it because I wasn't ready yet, but I'll post it in our Facebook group. So if you're not already a member, please do join our Facebook group. If you'd like to give me a difficult challenge, or if you'd like to give me an easy one, that's up to you. And I may pick a few. And if you provide an STL file, that would be helpful. If not, I would try to create it myself. Clack did provide one, so I'll at least give Clack.
He made it easy for you.
Yeah, so we'll see. But I will post that in the group.
Make a sphere, a perfectly round sphere.
There you go.
Well, you got a rotary.
Yeah, I do. So so I'll post that in the Facebook group and let me know. And if you're not a member already of the Facebook group, post away, man. That's what's really cool about the Facebook group. If you're a seller, if you're a fellow YouTuber, influencer, whatever, it's not Roger's Facebook group. It's not Steve's or I. So it's not like you are like competing with us in something we're selling. That's what I want.
It's certainly not mine. I managed to log in about twice a week right now.
What I mean, it's not our personal page, so don't feel like you're stepping anyone's toes posting anything. It's
I actually post. I actually respond on our ShopTalkLive page more often than I respond on my own. So
there you go. Let's see here. Clack said, I just want to see it make some dust. Just saying. I know. I've been doing it. I've just been putting little tidbits of videos out there so that people know that I
break any bits yet?
No, actually.
Wow, you're not trying hard enough.
Or I haven't made enough stuff yet. So I'm sure I'll have my fair share. Not
it's
yet.
only a matter of time.
Yeah. Chris said, I want to see a life-size statue of David done on your CNC.
There you go.
Of David.
So, yes, Da Vinci's David. It's in Florence.
Oh, okay.
You could actually do that with the rotary.
I was trying to get a company to give me one of those 3D scanners. So I thought maybe I would try.
They don't work like that all that well, though.
Oh,
there's a couple of new generation ones that do.
No.
Yeah, there's a couple of new generation ones that are much better, but like Creality had a couple of them, and I have one, and I've used it twice and went, this is terrible, and So if you want to know things I didn't review that I could have, it's one of those. But there are some new ones coming out. The problem is, like, if you want to scan something that fits in the palm of your hand, it's not the 3D scanner is not going to pick that thing up very well.
Yeah.
To create it.
Chris said green screens don't make dust. Yeah, remember I had to open the Masto controller so they knew it wasn't a green screen. Like, it's real.
I have a green screen rolled up in the ceiling in my shop, and it makes dust every time I touch it. So I don't know if I agree.
I got one, and I didn't like it.
Yeah,
so
I don't use it. That's why it's rolled up.
Yeah,
I think we all have. I guess we all went down that road because I've got one too that's just in the closet up in the loft.
Yeah. I'm gonna. I'll be taking mine down, and I don't know, turning it into a green tablecloth or something.
Are we allowed to post video content on the page? Yes.
Yeah.
That was the point of me saying that it's not our actual personal pages. It's Shop Talk Live's page. So it's open. It's an open form page. You can post anything you want.
Yeah. I mean, keep it clean, but
right.
Like Rick won't let me post my OnlyFans stuff there.
Yeah. I mean, you know, I'm really not into feet, but hey, if you are, just follow.
I could show you my pedicure. It's fantastic.
No, but that was the point of me. That was the point of me making that comment, because at first, when we started asking people to join the page, people are very limited on what they're posting. I think that they're just trying to be like respectful to us as you know, someone in the business, and we're like, no, it's an open form page, so go ahead. And then we kind of opened the floodgates, and I was really, really happy with seeing some of the things people were sharing. Barry said, I've seen different post videos, but running lasers at 100%, that hurts lasers over time. Any thoughts on that?
I run mine 100% a lot, and I have never worn one out.
I'm on the fence. I hear this all the time. Now, maybe I would say the one exception might be a CO2 laser. If you're running that at 100%, it's going to shorten the tube life for sure. But diode lasers, I mean, the diode is on. Let's face it. It's not like when you have the diode at 50, when the diode laser is at 50%, the diode is still on at 100%. It's just pulsing. So one could easily argue that 100% is probably easier on a diode laser than 50, because it's not flicking the thing on and off 100 times a second.
So I would say that honestly, and this will be based on material, that I very rarely run mine at 100%, because I'm mostly I need less than 100%, but I wouldn't be scared to run it at 100%.
Yeah.
And when I make those like Halloween jack-o'-lanterns, I don't generally run it at 100%. I'd rather run it less than 100% and run more in one pass, because it just makes a cleaner cut.
Yeah. I'm going to jump to the bottom of the comments here, because Clack has a very similar thought to mine. Dirty modules kill more lasers than 100%.
Oh, sure.
Power. Yeah. I agree with that for sure.
You know, and if you've never taken the nozzle off and cleaned it, you would be surprised, man. Wood is so dirty. Like, that thing is going to be like, whoa.
So it's not quite as bad if you've got a good airflow going through there, but because it keeps positive pressure on the nozzle, right? So, but you know, if you're engraving, quite often, if you're engraving, you'll turn the air assist off because it makes cleaner engraves. But then
like
that dust is coming off the wood and it's going up the tube quite often, right? So
when I do those cedar fence pickets, when I'm done, that thing is filthy. Like, everything in that thing is filthy. Even the fan.
Well, cedar's pretty soft, right? So you hit it, and I'm sure a lot of crap is coming off. Right. I don't know how you engrave cedar without it catching fire, anyway. But it's basically like you're trying to engrave kindling.
Yeah. Well, I just have to do more than one pass, because then I'll get those random spots that don't cut all the way through. Nintendo said, make some toothpicks on your CNC. Radu said, Da Vinci, David, or Clack. There you go, Clack.
Maybe Clack will send you a 3D image of himself.
That's what I said.
We can all make Clacks. If you have a color 3D printer, you can print an orange shirt on him.
There you go.
Put them up on my shelf.
Yeah. Does he mean the life-size version of Clack, or similar to Steve having that on the photo? Funny. Clack said, I use mine to code classified machines. Folks don't know what it means.
This is his good green screen.
Yeah. There you go. Blur it out. That's hilarious. Ben said, do you think buying through Kickstarter is a good idea? Some advice on waiting because there's less risk of a bad product. What are your thoughts?
I don't know that there's less risk of a bad product. There's less risk of no product if you wait. I mean, it's hit or miss, right? Like a measurable percentage of Kickstarter projects don't get funded. So you put your money in and you get nothing. But then along comes like Eufy Make with the E1, right? And it's got like $45 million worth of Kickstarter, and as far as I know, they're shipping them now. So
I would say, Ben, I'm on the fence like Steve, and I would say the reason I'm on the fence is because initially Kickstarter was for Kickstarter businesses, right? It was way to them to get financials to be able to start these projects. But Kickstarter has kind of evolved into just kickstarting projects, not necessarily for entry-level companies. Hence why you're seeing Xtool on Kickstarter. So
yeah, and I would say if you see Xtool on a Kickstarter project for Xtool on there, they're probably going to ship a laser.
Yeah.
If it's like Joe's Laser Co., maybe not, right? So the only value of Kickstarter, if you're going to get one, is that you can get it for a reduced price, right? Or you can get perks of some sort.
And normally it's a pretty decent perk.
Yeah, usually it's a fairly discounted price, or like in the case of the Eufy Make, the price was discounted, and then when they hit certain tiers of investment, then they started giving away things like ink and a bunch of other stuff. So there's value in doing it, but understand about 25% of those projects on Kickstarter fail.
The other thing I was going to say, Ben, is that keep in mind that you cannot be on a timeline when you're making that purchase. You're in a Kickstarter program, so they're in a beta stages. They're creating something. So if you're expecting to buy something in 30 days, receive it, don't go down that road.
Yeah,
if you're not in a rush for it, then and you're willing to save a decent amount of money, and you can spend the money without seeing the machine right away. Maybe worth it.
Like the E1, I had my E1 in April sometime, and they're only shipping them now at the end of August. It'll be September before the bulk of them start shipping. So that's months, right? So
Steve, they think your background's a green screen.
No, he wants me to use my green screen for a billiard table. Now, if I had 4 by 8 foot space in my shop, I would put a billiard table there. Well, actually, a billiard table is 10 feet, but I would put a pool table in my shop. Yeah. Except it's so insanely dusty in there.
Yeah, I have a pool table disassembled right now in my basement. I think I'm going to sell it. No, not think, I'm going to.
Yeah, that was that message.
Gary said on a CO2 laser. You want to take what, Steve? Go ahead.
Yeah, on a CO2 laser, when you run a tube at 100%, you stress the electronics. You should kick it back to 90-95. Well, there's 2 ways to do this, right? So in my big CO2, 100% is actually probably 95% on the tube. It's just the current, right? You can reduce the current. So I run what would normally be about 95% of the max current on my CO2 when it's at 100%. So now vendors might do something different, but
what I've heard is that most times the CO2 tube that the manufacturer are installing are higher rated than the actual laser itself.
Usually,
and that's how they're able to use 100%. You're technically not using 100% of its potential.
Yeah, and I mean, this claim here is possibly a bit dubious. I mean, I'm an electrical engineer, so like the only electronics that runs that tube is a high voltage power supply that shoots a pulse, and it's designed to do that. So I don't know how much you'd stress it, but
The only thing I would say, if you wanted to pick a fight, this is probably not a good one to argue with Steve.
it
You
at
go
the end of
down
the
the rabbit
day,
hole.
at the end of the day, if you want 100 watts of power, then buy a 120 watt CO2 laser, right?
There you go.
Then you don't have to worry about it. But it's like the previous statement that I think Chris made. If you have a 120 watt laser, you're going to want to use 120 watts.
There you go. You want to read this one?
Given the life expectancy of diodes, even the heat reducing the life of it will mean bugger all. Oh, okay. Will mean bugger all. So you only get 9,850 hours instead of 10,000. Yeah. I'm in this kind of school of thought. When you do the math, what's 10,000 hours, right? As far as shop use, that's potentially years of shop use. By then, you're probably going to be ready for the next generation of diode laser anyway, right? And like like UV lasers, right? The tubes, or the modules in UV lasers or fiber lasers are generally rated for 10,000 hours. And people go, well, that's not very much. It's like, okay, that's years, right? So, I don't know.
I would say you bought it, use it.
Sure.
Just use it. Cross that bridge when it comes. And
if you need 100% if you need 100% to complete a project to make money, then do that.
Right. And if you burn it out, that means you've got your money's worth. You worked that machine.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I keep hearing that. It's almost like an urban legend, right? I keep hearing this, and I don't know. I don't believe it.
Jerry said there's no difference in power between 95 and 100%. It's just stress on the tube.
Yeah, that I agree with.
Clack said, though, this is the only real cool thing about the 2 water-cooled machines I'm testing right now.
Yeah. This is you can run them at 100%. I assume he's talking about here.
No air being pulled into the module.
Oh, yes. Yeah, that is appealing. I'm actually shocked that it took this long to make water-cooled lasers, diode lasers.
Yeah, I just think that, again, once you're starting to get into water-cooled, that's not an entry-level laser, right? So it's a different price point.
Yeah, but it can be a closed loop, right? I don't know if this is a closed loop system.
I would assume it'd probably be around 70 watt to even need something like that.
Well, no, the X1 that Clack is testing, there's 120 watts.
Right. No, I'm saying at least.
Now think about how many diodes that is, right? That's like 20 diodes in there.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That thing is not going to live a long life. Sooner or later, one of those diodes is going to fail.
Yeah.
Right, and it's soon going to start becoming a 110 watt laser and a 98 watt laser. So, it's just more complexity. So more can go wrong with it, I think. But the bigger problem is it's real estate. It takes a lot of space for something like that.
Barry said longer 10 watt, clean it about once a month, about 10 hours a week use. And it's been dirty, but not overly so. There's been times I used it and it did nothing. And then there's certain material that it's like, whoa, man. I just didn't even think it would get that dirty.
Yeah, so keep in mind the diodes that are used in diode lasers are the same ones that they used in Blu-ray players, right? So they're designed to run for hours on end at full blast. And, as Clack says, once you keep it clean, it's going to last forever. Hey, Rich.
Yeah,
Louisiana Habit guys in the building. Howdy, everyone. Hope you're feeling healthy, Rich. I know you got some hurdles you were tackling. Chris said I had to laugh when I saw the Oofy doing Kickstarter when they are $1 billion company.
Yeah, well, this is the thing with Kickstarter now, right? It's like these mega corporations have taken it over. Like Xtool too, right? They're not I don't know if they're $1 billion company, but they're pretty big. Yeah. And why are they doing Kickstarters? But they all do them.
Yeah,
Like,
and that's
it's
what I'm
like,
saying. I think at first it would almost look like shameful, like why are you doing that? But it's becoming the norm.
yeah, you do the wrong thing often enough, and it starts to look normal, right?
Tim said, I bought both the X2 apparel printer and Eufy 1 and got both, waiting on the E1. So he did the Kickstarter. There you go.
Yeah, he got the printer. He said he likes the apparel printer a lot. So yeah,
Very cool.
E1s, I think, are the end of this month. I think a lot of people will start getting them. Yeah, we got the whole gang here tonight.
Yeah.
We really need to find a bar to get together and have a drink. But
no giveaway tonight. You know what? We are on, I think, our 80th live. So on our 100th live, I wanted to try to do something really cool for a giveaway. So I'll have to come up with something.
Yeah, we should do something.
You want to take this, Steve?
Sim the Turnery says, have you seen any update on the upright CNC made by True Creative? No, I have not.
I've been seeing them on YouTube. They're posting their videos, but they're shorts. They're not like full videos.
Yeah, I don't know. I hate shorts, but yeah, so you can do this with a Onefinity too. You can get a wall mount for it, and guaranteed at that point you're sticking the thing on.
I gotta leave a minute.
Okay. I mean, if space is a problem and you got wall space, this is a great idea, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, I thought about doing it with my Onefinity.
Louisiana Hobby Guy said a CO2 should never be run over 70 to 75% because the tube is a consumable and has nothing to do with the power.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm a little more ambitious than 75, but yeah, it's a thing to understand that in a CO2, your primary laser source is consumable. It's not like a diode laser where the thing is going to work until it's dead and then you throw it away and you get a new one, right?
Right.
The whole laser. So here, like, I have an extra tube for mine, but I mean, I've beaten mine to death and it's still running fine. So,
right. But to the point what Steve said earlier, though, like, even if you're saying, Rich, I get you, I'm not going to run 70 to 75, but there's, an occasion that you're running it, balls to the wall, so to speak, 100% to get the job done. If you're not running it 100% 7 days a week, for months on end, it is what it is, man. Do what you gotta do.
yeah.
You bought that tool to make you money. Make money.
Yeah, like the maximum current rating on my tube is like 30 milliamps or something, and when I'm at 100%, it's running at 24.
Clark said the amp load on most of the newer machines are balanced using the controller. If the amp input and controller output are set correctly, shouldn't be an issue. I agree with Chris Gallagher. So here we're going down a rabbit hole of like people's different opinions. Tinker said running for 24/7 for a full year, 8,760 hours. If you're that busy, you can afford to replace the machine when it burns out.
Well, that's quite true.
Yeah. See, and this is my argument, right? Like a 10,000 hour machine is probably going to run a normal workshop 4 years at least, right? So if your laser hasn't paid for itself in 4 years, then it was probably crap to start with. Throw it out either way and get a new one, right? Get a next generation one.
Yeah. Ordinary Woodworker said, I never run my Monport 80 watt over 70%. It cuts through most material except for half or thicker plywood, which requires 2 passes or more. And I'm with you on that because, like I said, there's times when I'm cutting through things and I could cut through it at 100%. And I don't, and it's not, and I'm not even doing that because I'm not trying to use 100% of the laser. I think I get a better cut with less power in 2 cuts.
Yeah, you don't get the cuts aren't so charred if you. And I mean, if you go quite a bit faster with less power, but do 2 or 3 passes, it doesn't take any more time
Right.
than slogging away at it at 100%, right? So, and you get a nice clean cut off the edge. So, I don't know. I tend to prefer clean cuts because you don't have to do a bunch of work after you're done cutting.
Well, actually, Acmer actually has a refrigerator that cools down to 60 degrees.
Does it have a holder for a bottle of beer or something in there?
Yeah, so I started saying I didn't finish, but the Monport cooler, versus the Monport, what do they call it? It's not a cooler, it's
Chiller?
a chiller.
Heat exchanger. There's a heat exchanger and there's a chiller.
Crap. It is twice the size.
Yeah.
I want it like twice. I honestly thought before I took it out of the box, I thought, oh, I'll stick it on the shelf underneath my table. No, I'm not. I'm sticking it next to my table. That thing is pretty like decent size. I was actually going to do it side by side.
It's the 300 versus or 3,000 versus the 5,000 or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have the 5,000. It's a big piece of hardware, right? It's
pretty big.
But it's an actual refrigerator in a sense, right? It cools. Whereas the 300 is really just an air exchanger chiller type thing. It doesn't actually have any refrigeration in it.
Right, but for 40 watt, that's all you really need. But when and that's technically they said I didn't need that bigger one on the CNC, but I just got it. Being completely transparent, Monport gave me a discount, so it was worth me spending the extra buck because it kind of evened out. So I got bigger, better for the same price.
So Harold says his Laguna EX150 has an ammeter that shows 30 amps max, which only gets them to 65 to 70% power in light brown. Yeah, that's probably enough anyway. 150 watt laser at 70% is probably going to cut through pretty much anything you want anyway.
It's crazy. People are saying hello to Rich and the live. I'm sure he's still hanging out. I know he normally watches our live on his TV, and then he'll jump in his laptop to make comments. Gary said, as far as Kickstarters go, I think what the thinking is, why use my money when I can use yours as a Kickstarter? Go, I think, is the thinking way. Use money when you can use yours.
Yeah. Well, that's certainly why they do it, right?
Well,
I think there's two reasons. There's that, but along with that comes validation that the product is going to be successful in the market.
To me, the other thing is this. It's a two-faced coin. Why do people sell on Etsy? Because Etsy has a market, right? Like if you had a website and you sold the same thing, you have to drive your own traffic. Kickstarter has a market that people are literally, so like if they're kickstarting their own program or their own product, they have to make these huge campaigns to kind of market that. And Kickstarter kind of does that for them. So it's a twofold benefit to them. Yes, one, they're getting outsource investments, but they're also getting the marketing attention to people who even know that new product even exists.
Yeah, I mean, I equate Kickstarter to a casino though, right? It's like you have somebody with a fistful of money and they walk in. Okay, what can I use my money on, right? And I may win, I may lose, right?
Right.
But people know that if they have a fistful of money and they want to spend it on something, that Kickstarter is the place to go, right? So
at a bargain price.
Yeah, well, you're going to get a discount price.
Yeah,
if the thing ships.
Right, it's a gamble.
Yes.
Gary said, as far as Kickstarters go, I believe the thinking is, why use my money when I can use yours? Yeah, that's what everyone's saying. Yeah. And it's working. So more and more people are doing the same.
Well, it's a win-win though, right? Like if you're going to sell something on Kickstarter and someone wants to buy it, you're winning because you're getting validation and you're getting their money, but they're winning because they're getting your product for a much discounted price, right? It can be discounted by like 60% sometimes. So
Chris said, I heard someone's hard to use the CNC. That'd make a good giveaway for the 100th. Not happening.
Yeah, I won't say anything because it's been a while since I've actually had time to turn mine on. But I have a couple of projects I got to get done in the next week or so. So
Clark said, if you drive 55 an interstate, you'll get better gas mileage.
Yeah, those are
that's
the
why I
people
drive
those are the people that irritate me, especially when they're doing it in the left lane.
Yeah.
When the speed limit is
yeah,
75.
I think this statement is important in its significance that a police officer is saying it, though. I'm not sure if he's saying, yeah, don't worry about 55, just drive whatever speed you want. It's your
I
gas.
was racing 2 Porsches home today. We were doing about 117. We had a good time. Chris said, I did the math once. If you made 5 cents per job, by the time you kill the diode, you'd made enough to replace the module and buy a new laser system. Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, people quite often will ask me about replacing laser modules, and it's like, don't bother, just buy a whole new laser, because 80% of the cost of the laser is the diode module anyway. So
yeah, plus by the time you've done that, it's so old that you're going to invest in something. You're going to put that much money in something that old with how much, what is it worth now, right?
Yeah, it's the same reason I don't drive an old rusty car. Because, I can keep pouring money into it, but then something else is going to break, right?
So I hear Canada made these new biodegradable batteries now.
Did we? Good for us.
So I thought they were going to try to give Tesla a run for his money and come up with electric
Tesla
cars.
actually, so where I live, Tesla actually has a team at the university here doing, because they're battery researchers, right? And they were responsible for helping Tesla make bigger capacity batteries for the Model 3s shortly after they came out.
Yeah, I'm a fan of the Tesla power cells, the whole house batteries. Those are, man.
Yeah, I looked at those. So, I mean, I'd like to think I have a pretty small carbon footprint, but like I have solar panels on my house that pay for my electricity basically for the year. But when it came time to have stable power during a power outage, I put a Generac generator in. Well, because it can run for days, right? As opposed to battery pack, where after a day, it's done, right? I can't, if it's, I mean, here when I need it, it's because there's a hurricane and it took out the power grid for a week. So
Ricky wants to show everybody he lost his 2 front teeth.
Where'd they go?
The ones on the bottom.
Yeah, they went into the tooth fairy.
All right.
The tooth fairy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Very cool. Let me see. Turn.
The third one that fell out hasn't went
Let me see.
yet.
Ooh. Were you wiggling it?
Mommy got it.
Okay. Very cool. Very cool.
The next one, I'm going to get $5 again.
Okay. So his 2 front bottom teeth were loose. And I asked him, why was he wiggling on both? And he said, no, because he thought that if you lost them both at the same time, you only get 1 payment. So you want 2 separate transactions.
Welcome to capitalism.
There you go. All right, go upstairs. Thank you. Yeah.
Tinkerer says some of the early smoothie-based laser controllers would firmware cap at 80%. Yeah, you could pick 100% of the software, but it's still only 80% on the tube. Yeah, I mean, this is basically what I do. I do it consciously, though. I know I'm doing it as opposed to some controller not telling me and just doing it for me.
Yeah.
I think the Roida controllers will do this as well, but you can change that. You have configuration on them, so.
Yeah, like even using the CW3000 step above what the most manufacturers will send you with a new CO2 laser. Get a fish pond pump. Well, I didn't even get the bucket. All I got was a pond pump. Of course, I never used it because I did put a 3000 on my CO2 laser.
You got a pond pump with your CO2 laser? It must have been a K40, like one of those
$500
K40.
ones. Yep, Munport K40.
Yeah, that's not much of a cooler.
Yeah,
even a blue bucket, whether it's blue or orange or whatever color it is, a bucket full of 5-gallon bucket of water is not going to keep the tube cool enough.
Yeah,
that will shorten the life of your tube faster than anything.
Yeah, a ton of people do it, but I definitely, when Monport asked me to do a review on the K40, locked horns and said the only way I do it is if they gave me the cooler. I didn't ask for the chiller, but I asked for the cooler, and so they agreed. But also, Kickstarter is not testing if people want the product.
Not directly, yeah. But if you get like Eufy make with the E1, if you get $45 million when you're looking for 600,000, that's a
Right.
pretty good testament to people's interest in the product.
Agreed. Rich said, I have a pocket full of money, just counted it, 97 cents. Not enough for Kickstarter. Hey, you never know. You might find something.
I could give you like a $5 Canadian bill. It's probably worth 97 cents.
Did you guys see that where a guy started with a pencil? He was trading for stuff and he ended up with a boat. It was like a pencil.
Yeah, there's like the paperclip challenge, right?
Yeah. That's what it was. Yeah.
That guy was trying to get a house or something.
Yeah, but he could trade
and it's a genius. It's a genius observation of sociology, right?
Yeah,
like to see human dynamics.
But I like that idea. Like sometimes when I sell stuff on Facebook Marketplace, I'll put or trade for this. And I was laughing. My son's been wanting a go-kart, and I saw this guy had this really nice go-kart. He says, or we'll trade for a paint sprayer. Well, because he's selling it to buy one, right? So, so I was kind of like, well, I have a paint sprayer. I'll use this paint the basement walls. Maybe I'll sell that, But yeah, old bartering system is definitely sometimes the best way.
You're gonna get yourself a go-kart now?
Yeah, it's we're looking at Harbor Freight has these big motors that people do these like big bore kits on, and the go-karts they run 2 motors at the back, so they move pretty good. We're looking at those. Ricky said he's ready to get rid of everything battery powered and everything gas.
My car's battery powered and it goes pretty good, and it has air conditioning. So
Santa's Laser Engraving said, got here about 30 minutes ago. Rick, what hasn't frozen once? Did you apologize to Clack for the stove covers? Did I miss the
why would we apologize to a guy who's making like $750 a week selling these things?
Yeah,
good for him.
What I had said was that in my assumptions, my ignorance was thinking that this was more of a southern type of product, and the first time someone asked me to make one, I kind of brushed it off like I don't want to, and now the 20th 30th time I'm like, okay, I guess it's a thing. And you know what? I didn't change anything in my network, but StreamYard has these new network settings, and there's 3 different options. So I changed one of them, and because actually Steve and I were getting bumped out, and
well, mine was different. Good. Mine wasn't because of that. But...
No, but your stream was acting a little goofy too. Your camera was having an issue, but your stream was acting a little goofy too. Roger was stable. But the other thing I did too is that
nobody's ever told me I was stable.
The one thing too is that all our videos are actually recorded online. They didn't say this, but I deleted all our old recordings because I thought maybe that was something to do with our storage and buffer. I don't know. That was just another logic of thinking. I thought we don't really need these. I don't know why we're.
Well, they're still on our channel, right? So
right, exactly.
All of our channels.
Right, exactly. Chris said my solar battery is basically a UPS from my house.
Yeah. Yeah, and I would argue my Genrac is the same. I looked at power walls and stuff, and I'd need like 3 of them for my house, and it would only run it for a day and a bit.
Yeah, typically they're 8 hours. Yeah.
Yeah, whereas my generator is a 14 kilowatt that'll run my entire house for 4 or 5 days. Yeah, and then I call the propane guys and say, come and fill up my propane tanks.
Yeah.
That was the difference, right? It just...
Yeah, all my equipment in the wood shop's all on UPSs. And it's not necessarily for power outage, it's for power conditioning. But I will see, like, lately we've gotten a ton of storms that I'll just see my light go boop. But I know that it did its thing, but, everything's still running as it was.
Yeah. I only have enough, like my server here and my network are on UPS, and they're only on UPS. They only have to live for about 45 seconds or something until the generator kicks in. So
yeah, every single one of my pieces of equipment are on it, but my lights are not. So that's why I'll see it in my lights. People said small carbon footprint, but advocate throwing away the entire machine to reverse replacing a single part.
Well, the thing is, it is a single part, but it's 80% of the entire laser. So,
yeah,
it's not like you're throwing it in landfill. You can take it to a metal recycling,
right? So my logic,
turn it into a new laser at some point in the future, right?
That you had a laser, you used it for 5 years, 4 years, you got your money's worth, and if you were repairing it 5 years later, what's out versus what you bought, you're like, just buy a new one because it's going to be bigger, better.
Sure. And in that 5 years of the replacement of the laser module, something else is going to go wrong too, right? Like you lose a stepper motor, or worse, the controller, because whoever made that laser 5 years ago is probably not still not making it. So you're going to have to throw it away anyway. So I don't know. It's like I said, my carbon footprint's pretty small, so that I can do that sort of thing. I can throw away a laser with a bad module.
I do said I was told use distilled water in the 5200 for CO2. Does it still go bad if it sits for a while?
Not in a closed system.
So in the 3000, I use distilled water, some Johnson & Johnson's baby soap, and I use some algae stuff that's actually I used in my fish tanks, so it won't algae up. But you still should, once in a while change it. But in the 5000, the bigger one, the 5200, I actually bought the Monport cooler refrigerant stuff.
Yeah,
which some will argue I could have bought RV, or I just
I put about 25% propylene glycol in mine, just because it gets cold here, and if I lose power in my shop, it could freeze. So I don't want the tube freezing.
Yeah, and mine's in my basement, which is controlled temperature. So
if you're using something like propylene glycol, which is what is in RV antifreeze, algae is not going to grow in it anyway.
Yeah. But just the plain water, I was concerned about being. But what I do like is that you can actually kind of see through the tubes. So if you did
although if you're passing that through a tube with the laser going, it's probably going to kill whatever algae's in there anyway. So
yeah, that was just my.
You might have a few algae carcasses in the bottom of your reservoir, but
right. So far, so good. Serving well. Actually, I was thinking about changing that since I was going to be installing the new one. It'd give me a chance to put the 3000 next to the 5200 and be able to see, like, look at the difference. Yeah, so I may do that, change the water, and then have the ability to have a disconnect and show the difference side by side, because there's a big difference. In the picture on their website, you don't really get the mental image of how big of a difference they actually are. When it showed up, I was really surprised.
Yeah, it's pretty hefty.
You want to take this one, Steve?
Gary says RF tubes are a little different than glass. Yeah, definitely they are, because they are electronic, not like a fluorescent type operation. He had it recharged and then said run, and when it had its recharge and said run 95, not 100. But like you said, it doesn't really matter. Yeah, I mean, if you're, RF tubes, they're still a consumable, right? You still have to do some work to get the RF tube back up to snuff. But again, it's 10,000 hours, right? So that's a long time. I mean, in 10,000 more shop hours, I'm probably going to be retired. So I don't care.
I do said, does distilled water in the bottle go bad for a while? I would assume if you're worried about it going bad after a while at your house, just keep in mind you had no idea how long it sat on the shelf at Walmart. Probably less.
if it's actual real distilled water, it's not going to go bad in a sealed container.
Yeah,
Right.
I find it humorous when they put like best before dates on bottled water. It's like the water is like 5 billion years old already. Like, why are you telling me it's going to be bad by next Tuesday?
You know, when I went to buy that water, it was during the peak of COVID, and I couldn't find it. The only one I could find was for babies, because you use distilled water to make the formula, and versus the $99 a gallon, it was like $14. And I was like, come on, man. Are you really kidding me? For a gallon of water?
Well, a gallon of bottled water is more expensive than a gallon of gas, right? So
yeah. Chris said, if distilled water goes bad, does that mean it's not distilled water to begin with? Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, I'd say that.
Yeah. Kim said, mostly the idea to use water that does not contain minerals. Exactly.
Yeah. What they're trying to avoid is any mineralization in the water cooking to the tube.
And I think what that is, being honest, it's taking you out of the equation. Meaning they don't know the condition of your home water. So by just telling you use distilled water, that's out of the equation.
Yeah.
Rich said dinner bells ringing. See y'all later. Thanks for stopping
by joining us tonight.
Let us know if you want to jump on one of the lives again. I'm glad you're feeling better. It looks like you're up and about and on YouTube. Thank you for joining. Say good night, Rich. Good night, Rich. All right, Steve.
Yeah. Chris says that's like the best before dates on honey. Yeah, they found 3,000-year-old honey so the Egyptians had honey and they found it in the pyramids, right? When they were in these tombs, and it's still edible. Like honey never goes bad, right? But you go to the grocery store and they put a best before date on it. It's like, what are you, mental? Like, these don't make garbage,
Marketing.
man.
Well, even something like the Himalayan salt you buy to cook with, I mean, that's like thousands of years old, but there's an expiration date on the bottle.
Yeah. This is good marketing, right?
My wife was like, why did you buy that Himalayan salt, the pink salt?
Yeah.
And I actually like the way it tastes better.
Like it's saltier?
Oh, it's got a little bit different flavor to it, I guess you would say. I use it too in cooking.
Yeah.
My wife says
it's so drastic that I wouldn't use regular table salt. No, but is it a noticeable difference? Like it tastes better? Yes. Yeah.
I'm skeptical, but I'll believe you because I don't use it.
Till tonight, guys. Great vid. Yeah, thank you. See you next week. Got a few minutes, 8 minutes left here in the live, guys. So if you guys have any questions, let us know. Let us know. That's what you're here for. Some grocery stores store honey. Wait, hold on. Some grocery stores, honey has lots of water and corn syrup added.
Yeah, they're a beekeepers association. I'm a beekeeper, so I'm all up on this. They're really trying to crack down on that, especially a lot of the imports from India and China, which we call funny honey, because it's not true honey.
Yeah. My father was a beekeeper too, so I picked up a lot. Yeah, they are in grocery store honey. They're allowed to bring up the water content. The water itself, if it's distilled water, won't bother anything. But when they put corn sugar in, that's just like saying, well, let's take something that was naturally good and pollute it, right? It's just.
It sounds very similar to maple syrup to me.
Well, yeah, real maple syrup versus like Aunt Jemima or something, right?
Right. Although I do love me some Aunt Jemima.
Oh man, you're sad.
I know.
Does your wife from maple syrup loving Quebec?
Yes. Every time we go to Canada, we're like smuggling syrup back. Like it's such. I'm like, I know it tastes good, but again, it's like with the salt, the pink versus that. But
so we actually have in this country, we actually have a maple syrup reserve. Like you guys have an oil reserve, we have a maple syrup reserve. It's a warehouse, some mysterious place that's just full of maple syrup.
I was laughing when I saw that there's like in Canada, like a legit mafia on controlling maple syrup. I was like,
Oh,
that's kind of
it's
crazy.
yeah. There was a big crime here because somebody stole like 48-gallon drums of maple syrup, like a lot of them, and it's like, how is this a controversy? But yeah, it
Right.
impacted the price, the global price of maple syrup because somebody stole this stuff.
It's crazy. Gary said, I use antifreeze in my CNC because I live in Florida and it's very hot in my garage, and this keeps the spindle at an even temperature. Yeah,
Yeah.
that makes sense. Yeah, I guess both directions, right? Either way too hot, the extremes.
Yep.
You know, the reason I use, even though I'm in a controlled environment, is I thought it has all the additives, you know, the anti-algae, anti-blah blah 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 blah, and I was just good to go and didn't have to do anything to it.
Yeah, I
Like,
don't think
user-friendly.
algae is a big problem anyway in lasers because the water's getting the crap
No,
kicked out
for
of
my
it every
for
time it
my
goes through the tube, right?
for my spindle.
Oh, yes. Yeah, I just use RV antifreeze, about, I don't know, 60-40 mix with water, 60% water.
Yeah.
And I've
Just
never
like-
seen any algae build up in my reservoir.
Yeah, and like I said, at the end of the day, like I wasn't having a huge cost savings by doing the RV thing or doing anything. Like when I looked up, like that stuff's not still cheap either. So when I looked at the
What?
price,
It's like $10 for 2.5 gallons of it.
yeah, but that's what I'm saying. So the price of the stuff they sold wasn't drastic, way more. You know what I mean? That's what I'm saying. It wasn't like $100 versus. That's all I'm saying.
Harbor Freight will sell this stuff by like these gigantic plastic. I think they're 2 or 3 gallon,
I didn't even think of that.
and they're always on
Yeah.
sale, especially
Okay.
in the spring, right? Because nobody wants it in the spring.
Redder said, if you want to learn something about bees, there's a fairly new channel with good info. Claxies.
Clack's channel, yeah. Yeah, Clack's a beekeeper too.
People keep telling me that I should put bees up on my apple orchard because it'll help pollinate all the trees.
Yeah, absolutely will.
Or
And
just
then
just call some beekeeper and say, hey, do you want to put a few hives here? They'll do it.
Yeah, there's a lady down the street that she sells all this honey, and she even sells like the raw honey.
Yeah.
And she built this little hut that kind of is like the size of like a porta potty, and it's an honor system. You just go get whatever and leave your money there. We tried an honor system with our pumpkins, and we got robbed, so we don't do an honor system anymore. Yeah.
I guess you must live in the worst part of town.
A lady tried taking our tables. Like, can you believe it? Like, we had tables, and we had these like plastic crates. I'm like, so we towards when it got close to the end, like the little baby pumpkins, we posted on some teachers' Facebook pages, and that was it. Like, we did a big deal. It was for the teachers, just to get rid of them all. And the lady was trying to take the whole crates. We're like, dude, like the pumpkins, not the crates. What are you doing? You know,
Oh,
you're
I thought it
a
was the
grade school teacher at
liquidation
my
sale.
daughter's school stealing our tables and crates. Like, come on, man. Clack said apple honey would be awesome.
Yeah, apple blossom honey is actually really good.
Yeah, so I have red apples, green apples, I have pears, I have cherries, and plums. So
Yeah,
and
some
Home Depot
beekeeper, you don't have to do all the work that way, right?
Yeah.
You just say, hey, put some hives here, and somebody will put some there.
yeah, maybe I'll post something online and see if anyone's in my area that'd be willing to do that. But I heard that it's really good for the honey and it's really good for the trees.
Yeah. Well, you can get lots of pollination that way, right?
Chris said honor systems are only for honest people.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just crazy though. Like, come on, man, you're stealing something for $5, really?
Yeah, this is like the video I just did with the electronic lock. And somebody said, yeah, but somebody could just kick in your door. Well, sure, but they could have done that before I put the electronic lock on, right? You're only keeping the honest people out anyway. So
Yes, very true.
for the dishonest people, I've got all kinds of video surveillance. So
Me too. Me too. They come in handy. We got 1 minute left, guys. So if there's anything you guys want to know before we cut out, let us know. Let us know. We're here. And if you made it this far in the live and you are not a member of our Facebook group, make sure you join. And as we said earlier, this is not one of our personal pages. It is Shop Talk Live. So feel free to post any related topic, videos, content. You know, I don't care if it's even a funny joke. Just keep it reasonable, right? It's an adult group.
Family oriented.
Yes.
Yeah.
There you go.
Family
Keep it
oriented.
at least rated PG, not R.
Yes. There you go. We all enjoy a good laugh every now and then, but just keep it a little classy. That's all.
And not too much politics, please.
Yeah. Chris said, my house is protected by 3 shotguns 3 days a week. Please guess which days. Oh man. When that country song came out, try that in a small town.
Yeah.
I think every person who owned a laser or a 3D printer was making signs, and they were selling like hotcakes. They still sell in my area. Matter of fact, I was gonna try to make some out of that HDPE because in my area, like they still sell. Try that in a small town, you know. Clack may get some joke out of that, you know. But looks like we're at time. You guys want to say anything on the closeout?
No, I think this was we covered a lot of bases tonight. We actually stayed on topic for most of it too, which is good.
So we got one quick question we can answer here. Ready says, are either of you union electricians traveling to Milwaukee anytime soon? I have some questions about their wiring and machines. I have circuits they're on.
No, I'm not going to be going up there. If you want to shoot me a message, though, I can certainly help you out with some answers on that.
There you go. Roger and I are both IBW, but Roger inside wireman, so he's probably your best bet on that question right there.
Take care, Chris.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, so thanks
well,
everyone for joining the live. Today went by fast. I love the variety of questions. Keep us on our toes, keep us honest, so to speak. If you, like I said, if you haven't joined our Facebook already, do so. And see you on next week's live. Oh,
hey,
and I have been making sawdust, so get ready for those videos. You'll see on the
Wood
channel.
chips. You don't make sawdust with a CNC.
You get what I mean. You get what I mean. Thanks for joining.
see you next week.
Yep. Bye.
Ciao.